These are the materials used for building the Simspay. They're all everyday materials which can be bought in hardware stores or supermarkets. First step in building is to mark and make the 11 holes in the disposable food container. Use a template to make sure the holes are placed correctly. The holes at the two ends need to be larger than the ones in the bottom of the tray. Step 2 is to make the uterus. Start by tying together two modeling balloons, one knot at the end and one knot a couple of centimeters further up. In the second knot, include a red rubber band folded in half. This rubber band simulates the uterine vessels. In the next step, you make the ovaries and its ligaments and vessels. On each side, place a brown double rubber band and a short red rubber band. Tie together the rubber bands, making a big knot. Cut open the folded end of the brown band. Repeat the procedure on the other side. Now grab the end of one uterine horn, that is, the modeling balloon, and tie it around the rubber bands close to the big knot. The big knot simulates the ovary. The procedure is repeated on the other side. In the next step, the infundibulum is created by cutting a small piece of disposable baby sponge and wrapping it around the ovary, that is, the big knot. Use a 5 by 7 centimeter piece for each side and fold it in half before wrapping it around the knot. Use a stapler to secure the sponge. The peritoneal lining of the corpus and cervix is created by covering it with a short tube balloon. Cut off the end of the balloon and pull the corpus of the uterus into the balloon using a hemostat. Make sure the balloon covers the second knot, which simulates the cervix. Making the bladder is the next step. Start by tying off the 5 fingers of a disposable glove. Turn the glove inside out while stuffing the interior with a disposable baby sponge. Cut off the bulky end and tie off the bladder with a knot. In order to make the ureters and the peritoneal lining, grab a brown double rubber band and a short tube balloon. Cut open the rubber band and cut off the end of the balloon. Pull the end of the glove and the folded end of the rubber band into the open balloon using a hemostat. Make sure the balloon covers the knot. The simulated organs must now be transferred to the abdominal cavity, that is, the disposable food container. Put together the end of the bladder and the end of the uterus. And pull the 2 ends through the one big hole in the end of the container. Make sure the vessels and ligaments are not all tangled. Now grab the suspensory ligament, the short brown rubber band, and pass it through the foremost hole in the bottom of the container. Leave the ligament as long as approximately 6 centimeters and secure the rubber band on the outside using tape. Now in the same side, grab the round ligament, the long brown rubber band, and pass it through the hole at the opposite end of the container. Secure the rubber band with tape. The next step is to position the ovarian vessel. This is the short red rubber band coming from the ovary. Pass it through the second foremost hole in the bottom and secure it on the outside with tape. Leave the ovarian vessel approximately 4 centimeters long. The procedure is repeated on the other side, the suspensory ligament, the round ligament, and the ovarian vessels. Two holes remain in the bottom of the container. These are for the two ureters, the brown rubber bands coming from the bladder. Like the other rubber bands, these are passed through and secured. Now all the organs are in place. But the abdominal cavity needs an omentum, and this is made from two disposable gloves. The two gloves are pulled through the two large holes at the end of the container. Now the only step that remains is to cover the abdomen with fascia. This is done by placing a disposable kitchen cloth over the container and securing it on all sides using a stapler. Cut off the surplus material. Before starting surgery on the Simspay, the model is placed in an additional container which is equipped with suction discs underneath. This stabilizes the Simspay and makes it easier to work with. Use large clips to secure the model in the stabilizing container. The Simspay is now ready for use.